Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Team Stamp It Easter blog hop. Um, Easter's just fun. I mean, and then you get cute little bunnies. Where can you go wrong with that? And candy. So, welcome to today's Easter blog hop. The demonstrators that are participating in this have created some amazing projects for you. So make sure you follow through with the blog hop. You can enter to win by leaving a comment on each blog. And each time that you leave a comment on the blog, you are entered to win. You can enter one time per blog. So let's just jump right in and go. I'm not a tell you everything that's new and going on in the business kind of girl right off the bat. If you would like that information, please feel free to stop by other areas of my blog that give you the updates. There are several things in celebration that have sold out. There are several things that are going fast. So if there's something that you really want to get, I suggest you get it. Celebration ends the end of March, so you won't want to miss out. There's some really cute items. There's some good sale deals. So just hop right over there and take a look. Oh, look, a pun. Hop. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's get started. Let's just jump right in and go for it. We're going to start with our card base, which is a normal 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But I did do it on the tall fold where it'll stand upright. So we've got that. For our next layer, I have powder pink. This layer is 4 by 5 1/4. Really, I can't even talk. 5 1/4. So it's going to mat right in there. And then I did another white piece. This one is 3 7/8 across and 5 1/8 long. And we are going to be die cutting part of this. So let's just jump right in and do that. Let me grab the big shot. And for the die cut, what I used was the Delicate Edge Framelits. These are so pretty. You can use them on anything. A lot of people use the one I'm going to use today as a snowflake during Christmas. But I thought I can convert that and make it look like flowers. So what I'm going to do, we're going to set our piece there. I am using a magnetic platform. I prefer it. It's pretty much the only one I use unless I'm using the thicker dynamic embossed folders and things like that you have to use your regular platform. So I'm going to line this up to cut off just one side. So I want it to come as close to the edge as I can. And see these little dots on the edges here? I'm just going to kind of center my die cut. Lay your plate down, run it through. I probably should have brought my die brush over, but it's in a different area. I have another big shot machine that I use. Well, this one actually cut out quite well, so I think we're going to be okay. So let's go here. So you have your little die cut edge. Pop out these couple little pieces didn't cut all the way through. A lot of times I'll run my intricate dies through the big shot twice, or place a piece of wax paper here in between your die cut. The only reason I wouldn't do a wax piece on this particular one is because I plan on coloring it. And sometimes if you use wax paper, it'll make it a resist. It'll make things not stick. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of flowers here. So let's grab. I have my Stampin' Blends. This is the Granny Apple Green. So we want it to be bright and springy. We also have the Pumpkin Pies. And we also have the Daffodil Delight. So let's color a couple of these little pieces. Let's see if I can zoom in here for you a little bit. So all I'm going to do is just color a couple of the flowers. Let's see, where do we want another yellow one? Flowers. When you see the die cut up close, you'll see that it kind of looks like flowers anyway. So we're going to add a couple of orange flowers. When I'm coloring and I have a die cut, I kind of like to color a little bit on the edges. And when you do that, when it's laid on your sheet, it doesn't have such a harsh edge. So now I'm just going to take my light granny apple green and my scrap paper that we're going to use to cut out things. And what I want to do is I want to create a straight edge right along. See the light stitching here on this die? I want to come just that side of it so that I don't lose the stitching. So all I do is just lay a piece of paper there. And you can pretty much see when it's even. I'm just going to run my marker right along the edge of that. And then just color it in. So has everybody got your Easter cards done? I don't. I did a few the other day. And it's kind of the same story as, you know, I always tell myself every year that I'm going to start my Christmas cards in the summer so that I'm not slam dunk doing 100 Christmas cards the month of December. Well, I seem to be that way with most holidays. I wait till almost the last minute to get my cards out because I do mail out a lot of cards. I'm a big fan of getting birthday cards out and that sort of thing. So I keep a pretty good stock hold of them. See, it's all colored, all done. Pretty quick and simple. And of course, because who I am, and I'm going to let it dry while we're working on the other part of the card. So I'm going to put a little bit of Wink of Stella right on my flowers. That way, they have a little bit of shimmer. And I will do, on this one, you'll notice that the flowers are, I don't know if that's focusing or not. The flowers are a little bit shiny. I'll show you how I did that at the end. We don't want it wet right now. So now this one, you see now mattes. Let me zoom back up. Well, I guess we're okay. So now it'll matte right on there. Okay, so now I want to add my little holes for the bunnies to come out. And for that one, I used, this is your layering circles. Let's see which one I actually used. Looks like this one. So it's about your second in from the smallest of your scalloped edge circles. So let's grab our big shot back. And I'll zoom back out for you so you can see what I'm doing. We'll apply our magnetic plate again. And I know I want my greeting to be, you know, fairly up here in the right-hand corner of my card. Let me see what I did with our circle. So I know I want 3 holes. So since I offset them, I'm going to start with my center hole first and move it off to the edge here. And that way I know I have room on each edge here. So we're just going to put that in there. We'll do our second hole. We'll kind of just center it there. And I would save these. These make, these little die cuts you pull out of here, these make really cute. You can put greetings on them and put them on a card, sponge the edges. So don't throw that kind of stuff away. You can always use it for something else. I have a whole box full of little things like that, and it's kind of my go-to when I can't quite think of how I want to put a greeting on a project. Okay, now we got our 3 little bunny holes. Put my die back, put this out of our way. And now we get to play with the fun little bunnies. And in this we are working with the Best Bunny set. Look at all the cute things in this. Little hat. Oh, carrot. Yeah, we're doing a carrot. We kind of have to do a carrot. And this bunny part coordinates with the Bunny Builder punch. Isn't that cute? Look, you got your tail. They even have little tiny paws. Just too cute. So we're going to take that scrap piece of paper we had, and we need 3 little bunnies. So for this one, I'm actually just going to use a block. You can use, I will use my Stamparatus for the greeting because I just like to make sure that my greeting goes on correctly. But for this one, we're going to take powder pink stamp pad, get our little bunny out, and we need 2 of the bunny faces. So I know I want, we need that. This little guy back fell off. And we need a body. Let's see, and it's got several little faces. One of them he's winking, one he's just got his eyes open. So we're going to do 2 different faces. Let me see. Okay, here's his wink. So there's a wink. And we want to do his regular little eyes. Where are they? It's kind of hard with photopolymer to see. And then, of course, when you get to my age, seeing anything is difficult anymore anyway. Okay, so let's stamp us some bunnies. So I usually do my bunny head first. With the photopolymer, it's easy to put the face in. Let's do us a little face here. One. We need 2. Let's do one over here because remember your punch is going to punch out several areas. Let's do a couple little faces in there with just Memento Black. And with the photopolymer, you can pretty much see where you're stamping. Just line it up. Look at that. Isn't he adorable? Let's do a face on the other guy. There we go. We got 2 little faces. Set these. They're really small, so I'm going to put them back in my stamp case. tend to lose those sometimes. We're done with the black for the moment, so we'll set that aside. And we do need a bunny body for at least the two of them. So I'm going to try to see if I can tell which way. It looks like I may have to redo the body. Sometimes if you're really good, you can stamp according to the way it's going to punch. I'm not always that great at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out my little bunny heads here. So I want to line it up and line it up in there. There we go. Let's line up this guy. Oops. See, I should have done it differently because it's not going to line up with. Easy fix. We'll just trim him out. And then that way you can line him up in the punch. Okay. So we have our two little bunny faces. Now we need two bunny bodies. Maybe I can pay attention to how that goes in there. So let's take our little bunny body. Now, even though you're not using the whole body on these two, I stamped and punched the whole pieces so that I could trim them off once they were in the circle. Oh, sorry about that. I could have thrown that or made that louder, couldn't I? I'm going to line up the body. And the good thing about this one is we're going to get our little puffy tail we need. So I'm going to put this tail over here where we need him to. And now I got to figure out where his little bodies flew off to. And I ended up with an extra face, which I'm going to set aside because I will use that. Got one little body. Where'd my other little body go? There he is. Okay. And then for his ears, I just used my powder pink Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to go ahead and put this. Color is. You don't have to color the inside of his ears. I just thought it looked cute. And you can even put a little dab of pink on his nose if you want. And we still have a piece of scrap, which we need our carrot. So I'm going to take and stamp a little carrot. I'm actually going to do, see, I guess I can see if this works instead of getting my Stampin' Right marker out. I'm going to do the carrot part orange, the top green. Huff on it to get it, make sure it stays wet. Stamp your carrot. Okay, it doesn't really work with alcohol markers. Let me grab my marker. Okay. So let me redo that. That was a good to know. I mean, now we know it doesn't, you can't use your alcohol markers to color your stamps and then stamp them. It would be nice if it did, but I'm assuming it's because the alcohol in an alcohol marker dries very quickly, whereas the regular ink doesn't. And you can also rejuvenate the other ink without wetting it. You can just huff on it. That's what they call it. Breathe on it. Huff almost sounds weird for stamping, but we do what we gotta do. Just move that. Oops, got a bunny head stuck. There we go. There's our carrot. Clean off my stamp a little. Then I'm just gonna fussy cut my carrot. It's pretty easy to. It's not a lot to it. And I usually fussy cut and then color a lot of times, so again I can get the edge of my image with the marker. It's kind of your personal preference. Plus, the other reason I do it is if I mess up my cutting, I kind of didn't waste my time coloring. I guess that's one way to look at it. There we go. Now we got our carrot. So now we'll just color it real quick. So that way you can color your edges a little. Granny apple green. There. Now we have our carrot. And we have our bunnies. Where's my other bunny head? There he is. I was going to say we lost a bunny head. So then what I did, oh, we have a little hand that cut out here. See these little paws here? They cut out. We're going to use those paws so he can hold his carrot. See on the top one, he's holding the carrot. So what we want to do, grab my glue. I use glue more than I do. A lot of people prefer tape, but I use glue. But before I connect him, I'm going to do a little bit of sponging to add some dimension to him. Just grab his little face. And I just use a sponge dauber. And I have a container a fellow stamping member made for me. And then I label mine with a label maker. So I know which colors are which. I forget. And some of them, when they're on a sponge, actually don't even look like the color they are. So we're just going to sponge the edges to give it a little bit of dimension, character. And since only a little bit of his body's showing, I'm just going to do the top. Now, I'm going to take a dab of glue right here on his chin. You don't need a lot. When you use multi-purpose glue, a little bit goes a long way. And I'm just going to attach it to the top of his body here. Oops, I pulled it right off. That's the other good thing about glue, is you can move it around till you get the position you want. There you go, we have our little bunny. And now, before I put his paw and carrot on, I actually want to have him in his hole so I know where the carrot and his little foot are going to be. Now, I have no idea how I did that, but I have ink on there. But I'll show you a trick while we're messing with that. Mono makes a sanding eraser. It's actually, like the old school erasers you had, but it's actually a sanding eraser. And believe it or not, if I caught this in time, it'll take this black off of here for me. And you kind of just do it in multiple directions. I may have got it on there. Oops, and then I bent my... Well, you know what? We will fix that with a piece of blame, because apparently I don't even know what I touched to get black on there. Huh. Interesting, but okay. Here we go. So now this little guy, we're going to put him through the hole here. And I know I want him to have one bent here, because he's winking. I'm bend his ear a little bit. And you can see his body's going to overlap down here. So I'm just going to take a mental note of where I want to trim it. So I'm just going to trim off his body. If you're not sure, cut it long, and then you can always trim it. So see there, his little body's going to fit in there. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue on his body. Tuck him back in his hole. Secure it. I suppose you could use glue dots on this stuff. I'm going to glue down the one ear. The other one I'm going to pop up with a dimensional. So when you mail it, when they open it, his ear will still be bent. Okay, so we've got him there. Now we're going to take one of his paws, figure out which one is it, and try to sponge just a little bit of his paw, and that'll make it stand out. And we want to put his carrot here. We put a little bit of glue on his carrot. Figure you want him to go about right there. And then we're going to put a little bit of glue on his foot, paw. I guess it's a paw. I'm going to grab my tweezers to hold on to this little thing. Because if you drop a little piece of something and you already have glue on it, it always lands glue side down, right? That's how that works. That's the laws of science on that. There we go. So see, now he's just holding his little carrot as he's hanging out the window. So this guy, the next forward-facing guy, is going to be about right here. So let's take his head. Put a little bit of glue on his chin here. A little dab of glue. Oops. Just pulled his head off again. I did that twice. So there's this little head is on there. And I've got 1 foot there. 1 foot here. And while that's drying, I'm going to sponge his little feet. Some tiny little things. That's probably how I got ink all over everything the other day, is sponging my own finger. So that foot faces that way. I don't think, the way these feet are made in the punch, I don't think it really matters how you put them on there. They're just going to be cute no matter what you do. But being OCD, mine's kind of got to face a certain way. So I'm going to set those feet there. Keep an eye on them because I'll lose them. Usually I get my sleeves and stuff and then I lose stuff. So we're going to put him, I want his ears to be kind of hanging over there. So that's about where I want him. And what I'm going to do on this one, since it's all the way to the bottom and that's a thin edge there, I'm going to wait and trim that. So what I'll do first is I'll put just a little bit of glue here where he's going to be popped through. And then slide him in there. The good thing about glue is you can move things around. That's the main reason I use glue. So there he is there. And I'll just take my snips and trim him off. Okay. Now we want his little feet to hang over the edge, like he's holding on. I had to use my little tweezers for this. How cute is he? Now this guy's going to be simple because you're just punching him out and going to attach him. I did use a dimensional on him because he's on the outside. So here's his head. We may need another body. Yeah, we do. So we'll just punch out a body here. What do I do with the punch? There we go. And in case I need anything else, well, I'm going to go ahead and punch a body. I know we have a tail out already. So we have our little body and our head. And see, you guys were going to watch for his tail. Ah, found. Okay, here you go. Do some sponging. And we're only using basically his ears because he's got his head down as he's going in the hole. So there's that. And then we need to sponge his little body. I just had a vision of this little body. Turn it upside down. Wouldn't that make like a cute little beehive if you have the bee set? Okay, so now squirrel. We're going to connect his head and body here. And I want a little bit of the top of his head to show. And then we're going to take a mini dimensional to put on his tail. You want his little tail to be puffy. So then we'll put his little tail on. And now we'll just attach him to the card. Put a little glue. And there you go, look. He's going inside the hole. Isn't that cute? Okay. So now we'll take our card base here. Look, I'm a very messy crafter. I watch everybody do these videos and they're so neat and they're so clean. Yeah, no, doesn't work for me. So we're going to grab some regular dimensionals. And on this center guy, make sure you have a dimensional behind his head. You can even, to be safe so his ears don't collapse, I would put a mini dimensional on his ears too. Those of you that follow me know I'm a dimensional freak. I don't scrimp on dimensionals at all. I don't want things to collapse in the mail. Like I said, I mail out a lot. A lot of times I'll use my dimensional strips if I have something like this. I'm actually just touching them to make sure the paper's off. If you put it in the right light, your dimensionals will be shiny if the backing's off. So now we're going to line it up. And remember, we've cut this one 1/8 in smaller for a mat, so this will be a matting. So you just line up your first 2 corners. And the rest falls into place. See there? Oh, and you know what? I already messed up, you guys. I forgot to stamp the greeting. But you know what? We'll do it. You know, we've all been there, I'm sure. So let's see. For the Easter greeting on this one, I used the Fable Friends greeting. Now there's some really cute greetings in here. Hopping by to say hi, so on and forth. There's some adorable things in here, but I wanted this one to be specifically Easter. So I went with the Fable Friends Easter greetings. Look at that cute bunny, right? Oh, so cute. So I'm going to line up my Easter greeting here. And the other good thing, when you make a mistake like this, where I've already put my dimensionals on there and it's not a real flat surface, that's the other excellent reason to have a Stamparatus. Because, see, I can restamp this as much as I need to make it stamp on this project correctly. So we'll ink it up. Give it a firm push. Look at that. Alright, so I didn't mess up. Normally I would do my greeting before I attach something to my other layer, because usually if I'm going to mess up, it's going to be closer toward the end of the project, and then I didn't want to ruin your whole card. And now this one we're going to attach to here, and then I'll show you a cute little trick. And the other good thing with glue is when you're putting a card on, is see, I can shift it ever so little bit if I need to square it up while the glue is wet. So we got that. There we go. Now we're going to add a few little bling. Can't have a card without bling. This is from the... oh, I feel bad. I will write it on the video. This is, I want to say, Gala embellishments. It'll be in the supply list at the bottom of this video. So let's add a couple little embellishments. Let's do there. Let's maybe put a little green flower. I think I'm going to add this yellow here. And then what? Aren't these pretty? They have like a metallic pearl to them. Aren't those pretty? So let's put this over here. And just because I can't just stop there, we're going to add a little bit of white pearls. I cannot find my take your pick tool. I'm not sure where I put it, but if you have a take your pick tool, this works better. Put a couple little pearl embellishments here. Oh, a little flower came off. I guess the glue dot didn't work. Let's put a little glue there. And then we're going to take, I'm just going to add a couple little pearls on the, let's see, where would we want? Let's put one there. It kind of just carries your pearl design through. Oh, I need to find my take your pick tool. It's crazy. Oh, that didn't glue down. Let me get a, this is where you would use a glue dot. My glue didn't hold that. I'm just going to grab a glue dot, put it down, add my bling. There we go. Done deal. Now on here, I don't know if you remember when they used to have the 3D or the dimensional crystal effects. I loved that stuff. So now instead, I just use my fine tip glue. And you can do really detailed stuff. And the only reason I do it is because I just want a little bit of shimmer on this edge. So all you do is take your fine tip glue pen and use it like you would your crystal effects. Just put a little bit on there, and when it dries, it just gives it a shiny little bit of dimension. And since we added that crystal effects, or not the crystal effects, the Wink Stella, then the dimension of the glue just adds even more shimmer. So once you do this, just set it aside. It won't take long to dry. You could even, use your heat tool if you want. I would just be really careful. When you heat glue, it tends to crystallize. So there you go. There's our card. We've got it all set. Isn't he adorable? I would probably carry this through to the inside with a little bunny inside and your greeting, of course. I hope you enjoyed today's card. Please go ahead and follow through with the blog hop. Be entered to win a really fun prize and enjoy some of the absolutely beautiful creations everybody has put together for you. Have a happy day and happy Easter to you. Thank you.